Well, Jamie, it's quite a complicated answer. I think we knew that we were in trouble when the governor gave us a budget with $17 million of revenue from gaming. And so when we realized what had happened, that we had to craft a completely new budget in the House, since the budget does start in the House. And we did this using what I thought was some very unusual ways of raising the revenue needed to pass the budget. And when it went to the Senate, there was opposition to what we had done, and it had to go to conference committee, and the conference committee refused to agree, and so that's where we are. We do not have a budget yet. I think that
Thank
with
you,
the
Mr.
threat,
Adams.
okay.
Thank you. To Mr. Masters, do you have a plan?
Well, just because we didn't get a budget passed, that doesn't mean that there was not a lot of bills that were passed. I think we passed some very worthwhile bills. We did pass the bill that prevented people that are under 18 years of age from texting while they're driving. We passed a bill that would certainly protect the domestic violence people that have been harmed by domestic violence. We had a incident in Lexington where there was a young lady that was killed by a man that had a protective order, and we got that bill passed. There was numerous bills that were passed that affect our daily lives, but I guess when we failed to get the budget passed, I think that that was probably the big item, you know. I think that's one of our biggest things that we have to do as legislators, as well as those in Washington that are in Congress. Jobs are right now, I think, the most important thing that we have on the agenda. Certainly when the House passed our budget, this was one of the things that we stressed the most. We wanted the state to do some bonding so we could have some school projects and things that would create jobs. It was estimated that we would increase the job market by 27,000 in Kentucky by the proposal that we made, and that was one of the issues that was the biggest sticking point. A lot of people didn't want to go deeper in debt to do these projects, but I think that they would put people to work, and right now I think that is the most pressing thing that we have. Well, one of the problems that we have is our revenue stream has to change some way, somehow. As long as we're strapped for revenue, with the sales tax being down, the income tax being down with people out of work, there's going to be a strain on the budget, and there's going to be less and less money for education as well as other things. One of the things that we've tried very hard to do is not to cut K through 12. But with higher education, it's something that we have to look at very closely, because I think that we're discouraging young people from going to college because the tuition continues to rise. And we address that issue all the time. It's something that we certainly not hiding from, but it's an ongoing problem that we have. And as long as the economy stays the way it is and revenue continues to decline, then it's going to be very difficult to increase the money that we give to higher education. Well, expanded gaming continues to be about a 50-50 shot in my district. My survey responses and the calls that I get are about 50-50. When we had the special session here last year, I sent out the survey and kept accurate count of my calls, and it was about 50-50. And that's why I went ahead and did a independent poll, and there was 13% more in favor than there was against in the independent poll. So that told me that there was very little difference between those that want expanded gaming than those that don't. Now, there's continues to be a debate as to whether the gaming will raise the revenue that some predict that it will. I know that there's a lot of money being spent, but as long as people are out of work, they do not have income, it's very difficult for them to go to the casinos and gamble.
Thank you, sir.
It's been my privilege to serve you for the last 18 years in Frankfort. I feel like that I do take something to the table when I go to Frankfurt, having been in small business for 18 years, for 45 years, and been in the General Assembly for 18 years. It gives me an opportunity to take a perspective that maybe so many others do not do. We have those that have been there just a short time. We have a lot of attorneys. We have a lot of retired teachers. We have people that are primarily retired, and I think that we need more and more people in the General Assembly that actually have a hands-on on what's happening. I work every day with small business. I work every day with farmers. I think I have a finger on the pulse of what farmers need and what they want. I guess one of the crowning jewels that I feel that I had in my 18 years of service was the passing of House Bill 611. For those of you that are farmers, you know how much that has meant to our area. Some $8 million have come back to the 61st District since this bill was passed. This is how the Master Settlement Agreement is divided back to the farm, and how farmers have been able to transition to other crops and do other things. But I think today one of the things that we must face is the loss of jobs. Jobs is very, very important. We have to get people back to work some way, somehow, whether it's at the local level, whether it's at the state level, or whether it's at the national level. It's important that we stress and emphasize the need for jobs. And this is one of the things that we tried to address in the budget. And I was very disappointed that it did not pass, because I think that we would have had an opportunity to put at least 25 to 27,000 people back.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Adams.
for your attention tonight, and I ask for your vote.